ready for some Miami Heat basketball with Deron Butler on Kendall Sports Network.
And happy late night Tuesday, everyone. I'm Deron Butler, welcoming you to another edition of Heat Zone Live. It's another late night game out west for the Miami Heat as they take on the Sacramento Kings. In yesterday's game against the Golden State Warriors, the Warriors came up big, even though Jimmy Butler suffered a season-ending injury. Hate to see that for him. But nevertheless, the Warriors did come out on top against a wayward Miami Heat. But right now, the Heat are trying to get back on track. Excuse me. The Heat are looking to get back on track as they come to the Golden One Center in Sacramento to take on the Kings. The last time the Heat faced the Kings, it was on their home floor, and the Kings blew them out in a I think it was like a 30 or 40 point game led by Zach LaVine, Russell Westbrook. So this Heat squad needs to get it back against Sacramento. So here are my 3 keys for tonight's game. Key number 1, emphasize defense and getting to the boards. In last night's game against Golden State, the Heat kind of got blown out in a way by Golden State's 3-point shooting led by Stephen Curry. And the Warriors did take advantage of the Heat's lax defense. So if Miami, coming off of a back-to-back, needs to emphasize one aspect of their game, is the defense. Miami needs to get back onto that defensive intensity. Yes, we know about the offensive pace and flow that they have. They rank first in that. But they also need to refortify their defense. The second key is to utilize the mid-range game. Miami's offense it's been touch and go as of late. On some nights it looks like the pace and flow is back. On some nights it's not. Miami needs to utilize the mid-range game to get themselves back into the swing of things. Most likely they will need their bench to step up in this game. If they don't utilize the mid-range game, then it's going to be another rough night against the Kings. And third and finally is to not only get rebounds, but use the transitional game. Against Sacramento, I think it's best to crash the boards a lot and not just rely on letting it fly a lot. Another thing that could also help them is if they get back in transition and play against Sacramento. Getting in the transitional game on both ends of the floor is going to help Miami on their offense. So right now, both teams are getting themselves ready for tonight's game, and I'll be back with the starting lineups and opening tip-off. And we are back. Here's a look at tonight's starting lines for the Sacramento Kings. We have Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Precious Achiuwa, and at center we have Maxine Reynolds. And for your Miami Heat, we have Pelle Larsson, Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell returning back to the lineup, Norman Powell, and at center, Bam Adebayo. All right, the Sacramento fans are getting loud. They're looking like they're ready to light the beam after this Kings game if they get the W. Meanwhile, Miami needs to get themselves into a mindset that needs to be all about being focused and being on top of their game. So right now, players are still warming up, and we should get some action on the way very soon. Right, the Miami Heat. So far they have been up and down this whole season. A far departure from what they once were a few months earlier, back in November, when they had the whole league buzzing, the whole basketball world buzzing about how their offense was so effective and potent. Now the Heat just needs to get back on track. And they need to right now. Again, the Kings starting lineup: Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, a trio of all-stars, along with a former face that Miami fans should know about, Precious Achiuwa, and Maxine Reynolds at center. Alright, so Miami wins the tip, and we have action underway. Pelle Larsson kicks it out to Bam. Bam being guarded by Reynolds. Bam in the paint. Misses the layup. Rebound by Reynolds, and here comes Sacramento. Russell Westbrook being guarded by Davion Mitchell. This should be an interesting matchup. Two hard-nosed point guards. But pass is broken up by Davion Mitchell, and the ball goes sailing out of bounds. All right, Miami will have the ball. They will inbound the ball. All right, here comes Davion Mitchell. Mitchell guarded by Westbrook. Davion Mitchell missing that one. Rebound by Sacramento. Westbrook brings it up to the floor. Kicks it out to Achiuwa. Out to DeMar DeRozan. To Zach LaVine. LaVine, fadeaway. He knocks it down to put Sacramento on the board. Zach LaVine in the last Heat and Kings game, he went off and looked like he had himself a career night. All right, here comes Davion Mitchell. Out to Bam. Bam backing down Reynolds. Passes it out to Davion Mitchell. Recovers it. Back to Bam. Bam misses the basket. Miami's offense off to a bad start right now. Here comes Sacramento. DeMar DeRozan backing down Norman Powell. Russell Westbrook for three. That rims out. Rebound by Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins loses the ball, but recovered by Pelle Larsson. Larsson kicks it out to Davion Mitchell for three. And good night, off night, Davion Mitchell with a late night three to put Miami on the board. All right, here comes Russell Westbrook, guarded by Mitchell. And there's a basket from Zach LaVine, and he misses it. Rebound by Bam. Here comes Davion Mitchell again. Gives it to Norman Powell, long three. Go, Norman Powell Ranger. That's a long three for Norman Powell. As the Heat now lead by 4. All right, here comes DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan missing that basket. Rebound by Bam. Bam brings it up to the floor. Kicks it out to Pelle Larsson. Here comes Larsson driving in. Gets the layup, and now Miami are on a roll. The Heat lead by 6 in this one. Here comes Russell Westbrook. In Monday's game against the Warriors, Pelle Larsson only had 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. You would think that Pelle Larsson would have more points than that. Ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Miami. So hopefully we get to see a better performance from not just Pelle Larsson, but also Bam and Davion Mitchell. All right, here comes Sacramento. DeRozan missing that basket, and here comes Miami. Norman Powell again. Misses it. Rebound by Sacramento. Presses Achua. Kicks it out to Maxime Reynaud, and Maxime Reynaud gets the layup. Achua with the assist. And here comes Wiggins. Wiggins passes it out to Norman Powell, who loses the ball. Ball goes sailing out of bounds, and it will be last touch by the Heat. It will be Sacramento ball. All right, and here comes Westbrook. Gives it to Zach LaVine. LaVine out to Reynaud. Out to DeRozan. We know he can get hot in a hurry. And here comes Westbrook. Back to Reynaud. Maxime Reynaud gets blocked by Bam, and here come the Heat. Pelle Larsson on a fast break. Gets it to Wiggins. Wiggins flies through, and he gets the layup. And right now the Heat lead by 6. Here comes Zach LaVine. Guarded by Larsson. LaVine flies in for the reverse layup, and he gets it. And the Kings trail by 4 in this one. Here comes Davion Mitchell in a fast break hurry. Wiggins out to Norman Powell. Powell kicks it out to Larsson. Larsson to Bam. Here comes Bam flying in. And Bam missing that layup. Was looking for the foul but doesn't get it. Russell Westbrook loses the ball. And there's Bam on the other end for the dunk. Nice fast break dunk. And he's mouthing off at the referee. He wanted a foul. And I don't blame him. Right now, the Heat lead by 6. Here comes Russell Westbrook. Westbrook kicks it out to DeRozan. DeRozan out to Westbrook for 3. Rims out again, and here comes Miami on the other end. Pelle Larsson flying through, and he gets the fast break layup. And that's going to prompt the Sacramento Kings timeout. Miami are coming out here with something to prove, and they are proving it early in this contest. A couple of fast break points, plus a couple of threes from Davion Mitchell and Norman Powell, as the Heat lead 14-6. And we are back. Score is 14-6. Miami. The Heat right now have been on a roll with a couple of fast break points and a couple of threes to get themselves going. Norman Powell knocking down a three. A long three, I should say. And as far as fast break points are concerned, Miami has 9 of them compared to Sacramento's 2. All right, here comes Zach LaVine. Gives it to Russell Westbrook. Westbrook driving in, kicks it out to Precious Achiuwa. He couldn't get a hold of it, and it's going to be Heat ball. Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic are now in the game for Miami. Domantas Sabonis, another All-Star, is in the game for Sacramento. All right, here comes Norman Powell, missing that three. Rebound by Sacramento. Here comes Russell Westbrook driving in, and he gets the layup. And the Kings trail by 6. Here comes Jovic. Gets blocked by Sabonis, but Jaime Jaquez Jr. is there for the putback as the Heat go up by 8. Here comes Zach LaVine. LaVine guarded by Wiggins. Out to Westbrook. That's a corner three from DeRozan. A miss. And it's a rebound by Davion Mitchell. Mitchell kicks it out to Norman Powell for a three. And that will not go in. But we do get a foul call on, I believe it's Sacramento. Dennis Schroeder is now in the game for the Kings. He replaces Russell Westbrook. DeMar DeRozan will also come out of the game for the Kings. And that ball goes sailing out of bounds off the foot of Norman Powell, so it'll be Kings ball. All right, here comes Sabonis. And Sacramento answers with a corner three. So right now the Kings trail by 5. Neat Clifford with that corner three. Here comes Wiggins. Kicks it out to Pelle Larsson for the corner three. And the Heat does not get a response, but there's going to be a foul on the play, and I think that's going to be on Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine pleading his case to the referee. Looks like he shoved off on Andrew Wiggins. So it'll be side out for Miami. Jovic gives it to Powell. Powell for 3. And go Norman Powell Ranger. That's another 3 for Miami as the Heat go up by 8. Here comes Zach LaVine. LaVine gives it to Neat Clifford. Back out to LaVine for 3. And Zach LaVine gets hot in a hurry and he knocks down that 3. The Kings trail by 5 in this one. And that ball goes sailing out of bounds. Wiggins couldn't get a hold of it, so it will be Kings ball again. Here comes Dennis Schroeder. Sabonis sending the pick. He gets the ball. Passes it out to... No, that's going to be an offensive foul on Sacramento. That one's going to be on Precious Achiuwa. Nikola Jovic coming up with that charge. Simone Fontecchio is now in the game for Miami. He replaces Andrew Wiggins. So far this season, Pelle Larsson has drawn 9 charges, the most for the Miami Heat, and this is Nikola Jovic first. Kasper Jakajunas also in the game for Miami. He's going for another 3, doesn't get it. Another rebound for Miami, and they come up short on that end. And here comes a fast break for Sacramento. And that's a good layup for the Kings. Zach LaVine getting another layup, and as the Kings trail by 3. Here comes Jovic. And Nikola Jovic 3 for Miami. Ball's knocked loose. It was last touched by Miami, so it'll be Kings ball. Nice basket from Jovic. Love that for him. Alright. Sacramento making some substitutions right now with Cardwell in the game. Here comes Nate Clifford. Missing that basket. Ball recovered by Miami. Norman Powell now bringing it up to the floor. And that's going to be a foul on Domantas Sabonis. The Heat will have it side out. I'll say Norman Powell will go to the line for 2 free throws. Powell knocks down the first. And Powell goes 1 of 2 from the line. Here comes Dennis Schroeder. Being guarded by Kasper Ziakajidis, he passes it out. Back to Schroeder. Schroeder finds Sabonis. Sabonis working his way into the court. And he gets the dunk. As the Kings trail by 5. Here comes Jovic. Out to Norman Powell for 3. Go Norman Powell Ranger. That's another 3 for Miami as the Heat go up by 8 again. And here comes Dennis Schroeder missing that layup. Another rebound for Miami. So far so good. Jovic bringing it up to the floor. Here comes Jovic flying in. Missing that layup. And here comes Domantas Sabonis. Out to Schroeder. Corner 3, uncontested. And that's a missed shot for Sacramento. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez gives it to Jovic for 3. And that rims out. Rebound by Domantas Sabonis. Here comes Sabonis going coast to coast. Gets his shot blocked. Rebound by Sacramento. Cardwell gives it to Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder is guarded by Jaime Jaquez Jr. And Schroeder gets the layup over Jaquez as the Kings trail by 6. And that's going to lead to a Heat timeout. So far, it's been back and forth between these two teams, but Miami has a respectable 6-point lead over Sacramento. Score is 26-20 Miami. And we are back. Score is 26-20. Again, the Heat have a commanding lead, or I should say a 6-point lead over the Kings. Right now the Heat starting to re-strategize after that last sequence of buckets between them and the Kings. And of course, some unfortunate news for Jimmy Butler. As we mentioned before, he's going to be out with a season-ending injury. So that's tough. That's a tough break for the Warriors. Right, back to the Kings and Heat game we go. Jaime Jaquez Jr. for 3, and Jaime the Aztec Jaquez Jr. 3 for Miami. Vive one wick. The Heat go up by 9. And there's Sabonis, guarded by Bam. Sabonis gives it to Nick Clifford, and he gets the layup. The Kings trail by 7 in this one. Here comes Miami. They give it back to Jaquez, and Jaquez spins in for the layup. The Heat right now up by 9. Jaquez with 7 points, 3 for 3 from the field. Here comes Dennis Schroeder for 3. That's an air ball. Recovered by Sacramento for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Sacramento. Jaquez Jr. almost had that rebound. Sacramento pushing it all throughout the floor. And they lose the ball, and here comes Miami going on another fast break. Jaquez gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, so Jaquez, he's been on a roll so far. He misses that first free throw. Zach LaVine re-enters the game for Sacramento, replacing Cartwell. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. goes 1 of 2 from the line. All right, here's Zach LaVine for 3. And Zach LaVine gets the buzzer-beating 3-pointer in the first quarter, of course. So at the end of the first quarter, so far it's been a high-scoring, high-tempo game between these two teams. But Miami leads 32-25. We'll be back for more action in the second quarter. And we are back. Score is 32-25. Miami has the lead, and we are going to start the second quarter. We do have some Heat fans out in Sacramento, and they are enjoying the game. All right. Zach LaVine inbounds the ball. But it looks like Malik Monk and Zach LaVine were having some issues, some communication issues. So I think that's going to be... No, it's still going to be King's ball. So there were some miscommunication issues between the two of them. All right, LaVine inbounds the ball. Gives it to Malik Monk. Malik Monk in a hurry. Misses the layup. Recovered by Simone Fontecchio. Here comes Miami now. And Sacramento comes up with that steal. Here comes Malik Monk with a spot up three. And he knocks it down. So Sacramento trails by 4 in this one. We all know that Malik Monk can get hot in a hurry, especially when he comes off the bench. Here comes Bam. Bam flying in. Kicks it out to Simone Fontecchio. I think we're having some technical difficulties on our end. Yes. No, that's going to be a missed 3 on our end. That's going to be a missed 3 for Miami. And the Kings have come back to make this a 2-point game. Right now, Sacramento are looking to retake that lead from Miami. All right, here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. being guarded by Zach LaVine. Bam now has the ball. Kicks it out to Fontecchio. Fontecchio with a 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio 3. Mwah! As the Heat go up by 5. And here comes Sacramento answering back with a basket from Malik Monk. So we have a 3-point game for Miami. All right, here comes Bam. Bam with a pump fake. Kicks it out to Myron Gardner. And Gardner gets the layup and will go for the and-1. Nice play and assist from Bam to give it to Gardner. And Myron Gardner knocks down the and-1, so we have ourselves a 6-point game. Here comes Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder guarded by Yakin. Kicks it out. And the Kings answer back with an uncontested dunk. Nice play by Dylan Cardwell. Here comes Kasper Yakin. Gives it to Gardner for 3. Nope. Dylan Cardwell at the rebound. Kicks it out to DeMar DeRozan. Not DeMar DeRozan. Malik Monk. Here comes Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine kicks it out to Schroeder. Here comes Schroeder, get them layup. And he gets it over Jaime Jaquez Jr. So now the Kings are within 2 again. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez flying in. He gets fouled by Dylan Cartwell. And that should be, I think, 2 free throws for Jaquez. Either that or it's going to be side out. All right, so Miami will have it side out. Jaquez will take a seat on the bench. Here comes Pella Larson. Larson gives it to Bam. And Bam puts it up and gives the Heat a 4-point lead. Alright, here comes Dennis Schroeder. And almost stolen away by Miami. And Schroeder coming up with that miss. Here comes Miami now. Larson gives it to Bam. Bam, spot up 3. And Bam Bam Adebayo knocks it down. And it's now a 7-point lead for the Heat. And that's going to prompt a Sacramento Kings timeout. Just when it looked like the Kings were inching towards retaking the lead, here comes the Heat with some key baskets, including that Bam 3. The Heat lead 43-36. And we are back. The score is 43-36, Miami. The Kings were trying to come back and retake the lead, but the Heat started to come. The Heat answered right back with baskets of their own. Right now, the Heat needs to keep this momentum going as much as they can. And right now, Savone Fontecchio in the last 2 games for Miami, he's had 13 points each, and so far he's been a spark off the bench, aside from Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Nikola Jovic. So Fontecchio is definitely receiving some great minutes. Right, Sacramento has the ball. Here comes Russell Westbrook, guarded by Kasper Siakam. Here comes Malik Monk, gives it to Dylan Cartwell. Here comes DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan with the spin and the basket as the Kings trail by 5. Here comes Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio gives it to Pelle Larsson. Larsson guarded by Cartwell. That's Bam for 3. And Bam Bam Adebayo again for 3. And here comes Russell Westbrook flying in. Gives it to Dylan Cartwell, and he gets the hook. Alright, here comes Miami. Bam has the ball. Guarded by Dylan Cartwell. Bam with a pump fake. Loses the ball, and that's going to go right back to Sacramento. Wait, hold on, let's see it again. Looked like Cartwell shoved off, I think. And Dylan Caldwell will come out of the game for Sacramento. So it looks like it's going to be Heat ball instead. Sabonis and re-enters the game for Sacramento. All right, here comes Paolo Larson. Larson finds Fontecchio for 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita. Fontecchio 3. Mwah! The Heat now go up by 9 in this one. Fontecchio right now with 6 points, shooting 66% from the field. From 3-point land, I should say. And that's going to be another foul. That's going to be a foul on Miami. And I think that's going to send DeMar DeRozan to the line for 2 free throws. DeMar DeRozan, six-time NBA All-Star at the line, knocks on the first, and Andrew Wiggins will re-enter the game for Miami. And DeMar DeRozan knocks down both free throws. All right, here comes Davion Mitchell. Finds Byron Gardner, and he gets the layup. The Heat now lead by 9. Here comes DeMar DeRozan. Oh. And rebound recovered by Russell Westbrook. Here comes Westbrook flying in, and he gets the layup. The Kings trail by 7 in this one, and there's a fast break. Another foul on Sacramento, and looks like things are getting very heated right now between Bam and DeMar DeRozan. I knew things were going to get chippy right away between these two teams. I mean, Paolo Larson always getting hit in the face for some reason. DeMar DeRozan pleading his case, but Bam has something to say about that. I'm not sure if that foul was intentional or not, or there's some malice behind it, but it just looks like it's. Oh, he also hit. It looks like DeMar DeRozan also hit Davion Mitchell. So there could be some ejections on the way for both teams. Let's see what the referees have to say, because this one looks very serious. Alright, let's see what happened. Alright, so here we go. They should replay it right now. I mean, nothing malicious with that foul right there. And of course, DeMar DeRozan and Bam got into it. Oh, Bam accidentally hitting Davion Mitchell. And the confrontation still kept going out of hand. Bam and DeRozan still jaw-jacking at each other. Both guys had to be separated from each other. All right, let's see what the referee had to say. So it seems like Bam and DeRozan are hashing it out. It was all just a misunderstanding. Nothing out of the ordinary. So Bam Adebayo will go to the line for a technical free throw. And Bam knocks down the free throw. So Miami will have its side out. Alright, Bam Adebayo will come out of the game. Nikola Jovic is now in for Miami. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Mitchell flying in. Misses the basket. Rebound by Bonus. Here comes Russell Westbrook. Guarded by Pelle Larsson. And Westbrook gets the layup. So it's now a 6-point game for Miami. Here comes Jovic. Gives it to Davion Mitchell. Here comes Davion. Gives it to Jovic. Jovic loses the ball, and I think that's going to be a foul on Russell Westbrook. Yeah, that's going to be a foul on Westbrook. Westbrook reaching in for that ball, but instead he whacked Jovic's hand. So it'll be 2 free throws for Nikola Jovic. Jovic misses the first. All right, Zach LaVine re-enters the game for Sacramento. And Jovic missing both free throws for Miami. Miami shot 50% from the charity stripe, while Sacramento's gone 2 for 2. Here goes DeRozan, guarded by Pelle Larsson. Back to Westbrook, to Zach LaVine. Here comes Zach LaVine, kicks it out to Nick Clifford. And that's going to be a traveling violation on the Kings, so it'll be heat ball. There's Wiggins. And Chief Andrew Wiggins, 3 for Miami. Chief Wiggins, 3 for Miami. And that's going to prompt a Kings timeout. Miami right now are rolling. And I think they may have some renewed vigor on their offense as they lead 55-46. And we are back. Score is 55-46. And you can get your 20th anniversary collection. Yes, 20th anniversary collection attire celebrating the Miami Heat's first championship back from 2006 as part of Champions Night on February 3rd when the Heat hosted the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, you can go to MiamiHeatStore.com to buy yourself a jacket or t-shirt commemorating the 20th anniversary of the Heat's first NBA championship. Well, right now, the Kings have the ball. Here comes Russell Westbrook driving into the lane. Gives it to Maxime Reynaud. That's a missed shot. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Jaquez. Jovic to Wiggins for three. And that rims out. Rebound by Sacramento. Here comes Zach LaVine. Loses the ball, but he gets fouled. Alright, Sacramento will have a side out. They give it to DeRozan. DeRozan loses the ball, gets fouled. So I think that's going to be another side out for the Kings. Alright, Sabonis kicks it out to LaVine. Here comes LaVine for three. That rims out. And here comes Miami. Norman Powell recovers the ball. Spot up three. Go, go, Norman Power Ranger. That's another three from Miami. As the Heat lead by 12. The Kings right now shooting 40% from downtown. Miami only 60%. And Domantas Sabonis will go to the line for the and one opportunity. Sabonis was backing down Jaquez, and he managed to get the basket over him. And how about the spot up three from Norman Powell? I tell you, Norman Powell should be an all-star. If he's not a reserve, he should be. And Sabonis missing the and one opportunity. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins, guarded by DeRozan, kicks it out to Jaquez. Here comes Norman Powell, flying into the lane, kicks it out to Wiggins for three. And Andrew Chief Wiggins, three from Miami. Norman Powell right now with 13 points, going 80% from three-point land. He's got the shooter's touch right now. And that's going to be another foul on Miami. This one on Powell. Got in there and reached, but got caught. All right, so DeMar DeRozan will go to the line for 2 free throws. DeRozan makes the first free throw, as Bam Adebayo will come back into the game, replacing Nikola Jovic. And DeMar DeRozan makes both free throws, so it's now an 11-point game. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins kicks it up to Jaquez. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez missing that basket, and here comes the Kings. DeMar DeRozan flying in, and he gets the layup. So it's now a 9-point game for Miami. And speaking of fast breaks, here comes Pelle Larsson, and he gets one with the assist from Bam. So it's now back to an 11-point game. Here comes DeMar DeRozan. Sacramento swinging the ball around. Maxime Reynaud with the baseline dunk for the Kings. Here comes Bam. Looking to answer back, and he gets fouled. Bam will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, so Bam will go to the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first. And Bam goes 1 of 2 from the line. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Miami. It'll be King's ball. Here comes DeMar DeRozan backing down Powell. Kicks it out to Maxime Renaud. And Maxime Renaud knocks down the 3 for Sacramento. And here comes Andrew Wiggins. Gives it to Norman Powell. Flying into the lane. And Powell gets the basket. So it's now a 9-point game for Miami. And that's going to prompt another Kings timeout. Norman Powell has been doing it all for Miami on offense. And the Heat continue to thrive with finding their reinvigorated rhythm and pace and flow as they lead 66-57. And we are back. Score is 66-57 Miami. Heat right now on a roll. And here comes Russell Westbrook. Gives it to DeRozan. Here comes DeRozan. Kicks it out to Malik Monk for 3. And that's going to rim out. Rebound by Bam. And here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez gives it to Pelle Larsson. Larsson drives in and he gets the layup. And he continues to build that lead. It's now an 11-point lead. Russell Westbrook gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Fouls on Pelle Larsson, who's trying to plead his case to the referee, but to no avail. All right, here comes Russell Westbrook at the line. He misses the first free throw. Davion Mitchell re-entering the game for Miami as Pelle Larsson comes out. Larsson so far has a near double-double of 8 points and 8 assists. And Westbrook goes 1 of 2 from the line. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. He finds Bam. Back to Hawkes. Gives it to Davion Mitchell. Here comes Davion. Finds Hawkes. Hawkes loses the ball, but he gets fouled. Hawkes makes the first free throw. And Hawkes goes 1 of 2 from the line. He recovers the ball, gives it to Davion Mitchell. And good night, off night. It's a late night for Davion Mitchell as he knocks down the 3. The Heat go up by 14 in this one. Here comes Russell Westbrook. He gets fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Russell Westbrook back to the free throw line. He makes the first. And Russell Westbrook makes both free throws. So it's now a 12-point game for Miami. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Finds Wiggins. Wiggins loses the ball. And that's going to be out on Sacramento. Alright, here comes Andrew Wiggins at the line for Miami. Wiggins makes the first. And Wiggins makes both free throws. So it's back to a 14-point game for Miami. All right, here comes DeRozan. DeRozan flies in for the layup, and he gets it. And it's a 12-point game right now for Miami. Here comes Norman Powell. Gives it to Hawkes. Back to Davion Mitchell. Davion guarded by DeRozan for 3. And that rims out. Rebound by Maxime Renaud. Russell Westbrook has the ball right now. Being guarded by Bam, but he flies through and gets the layup. And it's a 10-point game now for Miami. Here comes Norman Powell. Powell guarded by Schroeder. Here comes Norman Powell looking for something. Corner 3. Andrew Chief Wiggins 3 from Miami. And that will end the first half of our game. Miami leading 77-64. Miami right now has found their offense, and it's through not only Bam but also Pelle Larsson, Nikola Jovic, and especially guys like Norman Powell and Davion Mitchell. Right now the Heat are on a roll. The Kings are also on a roll, but both teams have been throwing up bricks just as much as they've been throwing out baskets. So right now we're in for a high-scoring game, and the second half is going to tell a different story for Miami. I know it. I feel it. Unless Miami can be able to hold on to that lead and change the narrative for themselves. So right now it's halftime. It is 77-64, Miami. And I'll be back for the third quarter. If you have any questions or concerns or comments regarding Miami Heat basketball or the NBA trade deadline, please feel free to reach out to us and I'll answer your questions and comment. Oh, Mr. Goat says, what a pathetic performance by the Warriors tonight against the Raptors. You must be talking about Stephen Curry and company. Well, even though they did beat the Heat last night, they're struggling against the Raptors, and that's not a good sign. Even worse that they lost Jimmy Butler, as I mentioned before in this live stream. So I don't know what's going on with Golden State, but the way they've been playing so far, they might be out of the top 6 in the Western Conference. They might even sniff the play-in with the way things are going. Really? And we are back, ready to begin the third quarter. Hope everyone is situated for after that halftime. Miami has the lead, and Sacramento has the ball to start this third quarter. Here comes DeRozan, gives it to Westbrook. Westbrook drives in, loses the ball, and here comes Miami. Norman Powell right now kicks it out to Bam. Bam being guarded by Maxime Renault. Out to Wiggins, to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell gives it to Wiggins, to Norman Powell. Powell gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 3 free throws. That almost went in. It could have been a 4-point play. All right, so Miami will have it side out instead. Here comes Bam. Missing that basket, and here comes Sacramento. And that's going to be a foul on Wiggins. So that will send DeMar DeRozan to the line for 2 free throws. Or it will be side out either way. And that's going to... Looks like the Heat are going to challenge this foul. So we will have ourselves a timeout, and we will be right back. Miami leads 77-64. And we are back. Score 77-64, Miami. During the break, Miami coach Eric Spoelstra called for a challenge, and we now wait to see the result. And it appears that Miami's challenge is unsuccessful. I'm sorry, Miami's challenge is successful. Excuse me. So it will be Heat Ball. Wiggins kicks it out to Bam. Here comes Bam. Norman Powell loses the ball, and here comes Sacramento. And that's going to be a layup for Precious Achua. And Sacramento trails by 11. Here comes Norman Powell. The step back. Rims out. Here comes Sacramento again. DeMar DeRozan finds Westbrook for 3. Rims out, and here comes the Heat. Bam, guarded by Maxime Reynaud. Gives it to Norman Powell. Powell, guarded by Achua. Kicks it out to Bam. Bam, corner 3. That rims out. Rebound by Sacramento, and here come the Kings. Precious Achua gives it to Westbrook. Westbrook, guarded by Davion Mitchell. Here comes Zach LaVine. Sacramento passing the ball around. Back to Westbrook for 3. And Russell Westbrook knocks it down. Sacramento trails by 8 in this one. Russell Westbrook now with 14 points, shooting 25% from behind the arc. And here comes Wiggins. Wiggins turns the ball over to Precious Achua. It's a fast break for Sacramento. No layup. Rebound by Davion Mitchell. Here comes Larson to Davion. Alley-oop to Bam Bam Adebayo. And the Heat go up by 10 in this game. And that's going to be a foul, reach-in foul on Miami. Zach LaVine will go to the line for 2 free throws. Nice heads-up play from Davion Mitchell to find Bam. A very solid play for the Heat. Zach LaVine now at the line for Sacramento. He misses the first free throw. And Zach LaVine goes 1 of 2 from the line. Here comes Zach LaVine. Norman Powell missing that layup. Sacramento now has the ball. DeMar DeRozan bringing it up to the floor. Here comes DeRozan. DeRozan gets fouled. That one's going to be on Pelle Larsson. DeMar DeRozan will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, DeRozan makes the first. And here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. replacing Pelle Larsson. And DeRozan makes both free throws. Alright, here comes Wiggins. Gives it to Jaquez. To Davion Mitchell. Here comes Mitchell. Gives it to Bam Adebayo, corner 3 from Miami. And the Heat go back up by 10. And Precious Achua gets the easy basket. It's now an 8-point game for Miami. Davion Mitchell looking to get into the basket. Finds Norman Powell. And that rims out. Rebound by Maxime Reynaud. Gives it to Westbrook. Westbrook finds Reynaud, but it goes right out of bounds. It will be Heat ball. comes Bam, and Bam makes the basket. So it's back to a 10-point game for Miami. Bam right now with 19 points in this game, 7 in the third quarter. And there's Zach LaVine with the basket. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. for Miami. Gives it to Norman Powell. Back out to Jaquez. To Davion. To Bam for the uncontested 3. And Bam Bam Adebayo again for Miami. And that's going to prompt a timeout from Doug Christie for Sacramento. The Heat right now are on a roll in this third quarter. But let's see if they can keep it up. Bam Adebayo has been electric so far in this game. And he is taking this one on a whole level. Miami leads 87-76 over Sacramento. And we are back. Score is 87-76. Here's a look at Bam Adebayo's shot percentage. 22 points so far in this game. And of course, Miami will take a technical free throw made by Norman Powell. Right now, the Heat lead 88-76. Looks like we have some more technical difficulties on our end. Excuse us. All right, here comes Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook kicks it out to Sabonis. Sabonis. He misses that layup. Right now the score is 90-76 for Miami. Jaime Jaquez Jr. missing that basket. Here comes Sacramento. Westbrook going into the lane. Finds Sabonis. Sabonis missing the layup again. He was hoping to get a foul call, but nope. All right, here comes Miami. Norman Powell driving into the lane. Here he comes. Nice give and go layup. And Miami right now are on fire. Norman Powell right now with 18 points, 6 of 11 from the field. And that's a pull-up three for Sacramento. That rims out, and here comes Miami. Wiggins kicks it out to Jaime Hawkins Jr. Here comes Jaime Hawkins Jr. missing that layup, and here comes Sacramento looking to get some points back on the board. And Precious Achiuwa gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. That foul is going to be on Norman Powell. All right, Precious Achiuwa knocks down the first free throw. And Precious Achiuwa knocks down both free throws. All right, here comes Davion Mitchell. Finds Norman Powell. Norman Powell driving into the lane. That rims out. Here comes the Kings. Malik Monk gives it to Sabonis. Sabonis guarded by Jovic. Malik Monk knocks down the three. You cannot leave that man alone at any point on the court. Malik Monk with 8 points, going 50% from behind the arc. Wiggins missing that three. And here comes Sacramento Kings. Malik Monk flying in, loses the ball, recovered by Miami. And here comes Norman Powell, and he gets the easy layup. So it's now 94-81 Miami. And another mystery for Sacramento. Here comes Miami. Jovic has the ball, guarded by Sabonis. Jaime Hawkins Jr. guarded by Levine. Jovic corner three. That's a miss. Rebound by Sacramento. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. Nikola Jovic doesn't seem to believe that was a foul. All right, Simone Fontecchio and Kasper Jakajunas are back in the game for Miami. All right, here comes Malik Monk, guarded by Hawkins. Malik Monk, long three, he misses it. Rebound by Nikola Jovic. Jovic loses the ball, and here comes Sacramento. The Kings are on a fast break. Malik Monk thought about going for the three, but they passed the ball around. Here comes Nick Clifford. Finds the bonus, blocked by Fontecchio. Nice block by Fontecchio. And that's going to be a 24-second violation on the Kings. So it will be heat ball. Andrew Wiggins will come out of the game for Miami. Here comes Kasper Jakajunas. Finds Myron Gardner. Gives it to Nikola Jovic. Jovic through traffic. Misses the basket. And here come the Kings again. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez find Jovic. Jovic going for the layup, and he gets it. So right now it's 96-81 Miami. A 15-point lead right now. And Domantas Sabonis knocks it down. Here comes Kasparas Jakujonas. Gives it to Myron Gardner. Back to Jakujonas. Here comes Jakujonas. He gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Foul's going to be on Malik Monk. Right, Jakujonas knocks on the first, and DeMar DeRozan re-enters the game for Sacramento. He replaces Domantas Sabonis. And Jakujonas missing that second free throw. And DeMar DeRozan will go back to the line for 2 more free throws. That foul's going to be on Nikola Jovic. DeMar DeRozan makes the first free throw. And DeMar DeRozan makes both free throws. So right now it's a 12-point game. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez flying in, missing the basket. Rebound by Sacramento. Here comes Dennis Schroeder. Gives it to DeRozan. DeRozan guarded by Jaime Jaquez Jr. And that's going to be an offensive foul on the Kings. So it'll be heat ball. Dennis Schroeder is in disbelief, said that he got pulled down by Kasparas Jakujonas. All right, here comes Yeah, they're replaying that same foul right now. Here comes Jakujonas. Jakujonas gets his shot blocked, recovered by Sacramento. Well, right now we're suffering some technical difficulties on our end. Scoreboard is still working, but right now the stream is buffering, and we need to stop that. All right, so right now it's 97-85 Miami. Simone Fontecchio picking up that foul. That will send Malik Monk to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Malik Monk makes the first free throw. And Bam Adebayo returns back to the game for Miami. Nikola Jovic will take a seat. and Malik Monk makes both free throws. So it's now a 10-point game. Malik Monk so far has 10 points, 5 in this quarter alone. Alright, here comes Hawkins. Finding Myron Gardner. Fontecchio corner 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio 3. Mwah. Here comes DeRozan. DeRozan has the ball. Back to Malik Monk. Back to DeRozan. Here comes DeRozan. And he will go to the line for 2 free throws. DeRozan makes the first free throw. And DeRozan makes both free throws. So it's now an 11-point game for Miami. Alright, Hawkins missing the basket. Recovered by Sacramento. Here comes Malik Monk, being guarded by Casper Siakajunas. Here comes DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan for 3. That rims out. Recovered by Miami. And that will end the third quarter. Miami so far, they have a sizable lead, but let's see how they work in the fourth quarter. The Heat lead 100-89. Stick around. We'll be back for the fourth quarter. Alright, and we got another comment. Mr. GOAT saying that the Warriors season is officially over. This is sad. It is very sad. I mean, the only bright spot is Stephen Curry getting an All-Star nod. Other than that, the Warriors dynasty seems to be over at this point, because there's not much else they can do other than try to play for respect. And we are back. Score is 100-89. Miami will start off the fourth quarter with the ball in their possession. Here comes Hawkes. Hawkes guarded by Zach Levine. Sorry, Nick Clifford, excuse me. There's Fontecchio for three. That rims out. Rebound by Kasper Jakajunas. Bam, kicks it out to Hawkes. Here comes Hawkes. Hawkes flying in. And Sacramento comes up with that rebound. Here comes Malik Monk. Monk unguarded for three, and that rims out. Rebound by Bam. Here comes Bam. Bam gives it to Kasper Jakajunas. Jakajunas kicks it out to Fontecchio. Out to Bam. Here comes Bam. Misses it. Rebound by Nick Clifford, and here comes Sacramento. DeMar DeRozan with spin. Missing the basket. Nick Clifford for three. That rims out and recovered by Miami. All right, here comes Fontecchio missing that three. Rebound recovered by Miami. All right, here comes Bam. Bam driving into the lane. Gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Bam now at the line. He makes the first free throw. And Bam makes both free throws. So right now it's a 13-point lead for Miami. All right, here comes DeRozan, guarded by Pelle Larsson. And DeMar DeRozan gets the basket under the rest. And here comes Miami. Pelle Larsson, fast break in a hurry. Ball's knocked loose, recovered by Sacramento. Here comes Westbrook, loses the ball, and here comes Miami. Yeah, Jakajunas finding Myron Gardner. And there's Pelle Larsson for the putback. No one on Sacramento didn't even put up a defensive effort. They were just ball watching. Here comes DeRozan. DeRozan missing that basket. Rebound recovered by Miami. Here comes Bam. Bam Adebayo. Back it. Gives it to Simone Fontecchio for three. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio three. And the Heat right now are on a roll. Fontecchio now with 12 points, going 4 for 7 from 3-point land. Right now, here's Sacramento. They give it to Schroeder. Schroeder flying in and misses the layup. DeMar DeRozan kicks it out. And that three is good for Malik Monk. Cannot leave that man wide open. And here comes Miami. Bam flying in. Gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. All right, Bam goes to the line. He misses the first free throw. Alright, Russell Westbrook re-enters the game for Sacramento. And Bam goes 1 of 2 from the line. So it's now a 14-point game. Bam so far with 25 points in this one. And here comes Russell Westbrook. Westbrook trying to drive it in. Kicks it out to Nick Clifford for the dunk. Woo! Nick Clifford took off like so train with that one. And that prompts a Miami Heat timeout. That was a nasty finish by Nick Clifford, putting Simone Fontecchio in a poster. Regardless of that, Miami leads 108-96. And we are back, ready for our fourth quarter follow-up. Miami right now, they've made 15 threes in the first half. The most in any half in this game or this season. Bam Adebayo right now with 25 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 80% from behind the arc. Meanwhile, for the Sacramento Kings, Zach LaVine with 15 points. Remember, he scored 42 points against the Heat in an early December game against Miami. And here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Kicks it out to Simone Fontecchio. Here comes Fontecchio. Finding Pella Larson for the lob as Miami goes up 110-96. Alright, here comes Russell Westbrook. Westbrook guarded by Myron Gardner. Here comes DeRozan out to Westbrook. That's a corner three, and that's a miss. Here comes Miami now. Finding Hawkins. Here comes Pella Larson. Larson out to Fontecchio. Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio. 3 from Miami. Fontecchio is feeling it right now. He has 15 points, shooting 5 for 8 from three-point land. And here comes And that's a 3 in response from Sacramento. Malik Monk trying to get it back for the Kings. Alright, and here comes Pella Larson. Oh, falls down, but he's okay. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Gives it to Byron Gardner. Finding Fontecchio again for corner 3. No, that rims out. And here comes Sacramento. Malik Monk again. That rims out. Malik Monk trying to fly his way into the lane. And he gets the basket. And that's going to prompt a Heat timeout. So far it's been back and forth, but the Heat has been managing to hold on to that lead as they lead. As they go up ahead, as they go up 113 to 101. Alright, and we are back. The next time we see the Heat, they go up against the Portland Trailblazers who has a record of 22-22, and they are ranked 9th in the Western Conference. One of the big surprises for me this season. Right now, the Heat got to take care of business in Sacramento as they are in the lead by 12 points. Alright, here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez, guarded by Nick Clifford. Jaquez kicks it out to Norman Powell. Here comes Norman Powell, flying in, and he gets the basket. Heat now go up by 14 in this one. DeMar DeRozan with the spin, and he gets the layup. Nicely done by DeRozan. So it's now a 12-point game for Miami. Jaquez loses the ball but gets fouled. So that one's going to be on Precious Achiuwa. Alright, so it'll be side out. I think it's gonna be side out for Miami. Wiggins, missing that 3. Recovered by Cardwell. Sacramento pushing it up ahead. And that's going to be out of bounds on the Kings. So it'll be Heat ball. Alright, here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Miami has 7 turnovers in this game. Sacramento only 14. Wiggins with the spin, and he gets a layup. Nicely done by Wiggins. So back up to 14 we go for Miami. Here comes Westbrook, finds Sabonis, and that's going to be a rim out for Sacramento. Here comes Miami. Norman Powell driving into the lane. But it's recovered by DeMar DeRozan. So far, the action's still intense. Miami has the ball now. Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins knocks down that basket. And here come the Kings looking to respond back. And that's going to be a nice layup for Russell Westbrook. Here comes Pella Larson. And that basket will. They're saying that basket counted. So Pella Larson will go to the line for the and 1. And Pella Larson makes the and 1 opportunity. So now it's a 17-point game for Miami. And Russell Westbrook drives in for the basket. Alright, here comes Norman Powell. Powell kicks it out to Jaquez. Jaquez back to Powell. That's a long 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Sacramento. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be Heat ball. Sacramento looking to challenge, and they will. So that's going to be a timeout for Sacramento. All right, so Sacramento will challenge that last possession, and we will be right back. whole time. Okay, so and we are back. Score is 122-107. After that last timeout, I wasn't sure who the call was in favor of, but from what I saw, it was Heat ball. Sacramento answered back with a basket of their own. Here comes Wiggins. Wiggins kicks it out to Jovic. Jovic flies in. And there's Jaime Jaquez Jr. for the putback. So now it's 124-109 Miami. Here comes Malik Monk for three. Rebound recovered by Miami. Here comes Norman Powell. Gives it to Wiggins for three. And rims out. Rebound by DeMar DeRozan. This presses Achua for three. That's a miss. And here comes Miami. Ella Larson, guarded by Malik Monk. Gives it to Jaquez, to Powell. Here comes Norman Powell flying in. Ball goes sailing out of bounds. And it will be Sacramento Kings ball. Sacramento right now with 16 turnovers to Miami's 9. Alright, here comes Russell Westbrook, guarded by Jaquez. DeMar DeRozan for three. And DeMar DeRozan knocks down that three-pointer. So it's now a 12-point game. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez finds Wiggins. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Sacramento. So it will be Heat ball. Hawkins inbounds the ball. But Sacramento's there to intercept. And here come the Kings. Russell Westbrook finds Zach LaVine. Here comes LaVine. It's his shot blocked. And here comes Miami. And Pella Larson gets hit. And he gets right in the face of DeMar DeRozan. And we got ourselves another confrontation right now. Earlier we had a confrontation between Bam and DeMar DeRozan over a Larson foul. Now it's Larson getting up in the face of DeMar DeRozan. Let's watch it again. Rather, I should watch it again. Yeah, that was a very nasty foul by DeMar DeRozan. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't a frustration foul. That wasn't a frustration foul. DeMar DeRozan came in like he was about to clothesline Pella Larson's head off. Nasty stuff right there. Nasty stuff. And Pella Larson was just asking, why'd you commit that foul, man? Was that even necessary? Alright, referee's gonna review this one. So we'll wait to see if it's a flagrant foul or an ejection. So far from what I'm seeing, it could be a flagrant foul, possibly an ejection. All right, welcome back. Score is 124-112. All right, so Paolo Larson will go to the line for a technical free throw. So it's going to be a technical foul on DeMar DeRozan. He's not ejected from the game. And Paolo Larson knocks down the technical free throw. All right, so it's 2 technical free throws instead. And Paolo Larson goes 1 of 2 from the line. So it'll be heat ball. Alright. Hawkins now has the ball. He's being double teamed. Kicks it out to Wiggins. Larson kicks it out to Hawkins. Hawkins guarded by... Oh, he's being double teamed again. Finds Jovic. Jovic for 3. And Nikola Jovic. 3 from Miami. And Russell Westbrook flies in for the layup. So now it's a 14-point game. Sacramento's not making this any easier for Miami right now. That's going to be out on the Kings. Ball will be in Miami's possession. All right, and here comes. That's Paolo Larson for 3. Misses it. And that's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Kings, so it'll be heat ball. All right, Jaime Hawkins Jr. has the ball, guarded by Westbrook. And Jaime Hawkins Jr. knocks it down. All right, here comes Russell Westbrook. Kicks it out to Zach LaVine. LaVine for 3. And he knocks it out. So right now it's a 13-point game for Miami. They give it to Norman Powell. And the Heat is going to let this one, is going to let the clock run out. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. The Miami Heat come away with a big win over the Sacramento Kings. Man, this one was intense. Lots of high scoring, lots of free-flowing basketball from Miami. Something they need to get back to doing. And if you notice one thing about that game, we didn't see Tyler Hero and we didn't see Kyle Ware in the game. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but if it produces Miami some wins, then by all means. I mean, this was a fun yet tough game because both of these teams, I know they were on the losing side of their games yesterday, but the Kings were very sloppy on the court. Yeah, Sacramento was sloppy with not only with turnovers, but they were also sloppy with fouls. which of course Miami took advantage of, especially the ones that involved DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, he did shove off on Palo Larson earlier in the game, and that led to that confrontation between him and Bam. And again, late in the fourth quarter, where he literally threw a clothesline at Palo Larson, who was downhill in a hurry going for the layup. So I don't know if it's a problem between Sacramento, but they need to figure it out, because right now they are not looking good. This team does not look like it's going to be a playoff hopeful. So no lighting the beam in the Golden One Center today. As for the Heat, they came out victorious, and they came out with something to prove. So kudos to them. Alright, so for the Heat, Palo Larson came away with a near double-double of 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. Andrew Wiggins had 19 points. Norman Powell lit it up with 22 points. Jaime Jaquez Jr. came off the bench with 13 points. Simone Fontecchio, he went off from the bench as well, knocking down 15 points and 7 rebounds. Of course, Jaime Jaquez Jr. had a near double-double of 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. And Bam Adebayo returning back to his all-star form with another good performance of 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. And as for the Sacramento Kings, DeMar DeRozan led the way with 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Russell Westbrook did the same thing. A near double-double performance from him was 22 points, 2 rebounds, and 7 assists. And Zach LaVine with 18 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists. And of course, coming off the bench, you have Malik Monk with 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. The next time we see the Heat on their West Coast road trip, they will be in the Rose City. They will be in Portland to take on the Trailblazers. That game starts 10 p.m. Thursday night on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and NBA League Pass. Again, Heat Trailblazers Thursday night at 10 p.m. on NBA League Pass and FanDuel Sports Network Sun. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and for those of you who lurk just to see the scoreboard and hear the play-by-play, I appreciate it. And to those who interacted, like Mr. Goat 1996, wanted to talk about how bad the Warriors season is going right now. Hey, I understand. I know where you're coming from, man. I know where you're coming from. It's not easy being a basketball fan sometimes. It's not easy. But for those of you out there, take care of one another, love one another, treat each other with kindness and respect, the same way you would want kindness and respect in your life. Always look out for one another and make sure they look out for you in return. And make sure that the people that you love the most reciprocate that feeling to you, because you never know when that day comes. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run through the paint. Alright, love you guys. Take care. Hope you guys get some sleep out there. I know it was a late night game, but we got through it. I know I was feeling a little groggy. Had to get some coffee to wake myself up. But we made it. The Heat won, and that's all that matters. And as always, go Heat. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Or whenever I'm available. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be Thursday.